You know what it is.
It's International Peace Day.
All right. Happy International Peace Day.
And no. This is potentially it's been working around my mind space with the whole Afghanistan situation and noticing the types of conflicts that are also within myself when it comes to that sort of stuff. Not sure if any of you are feeling the same way, but it made me think, can we achieve peace? And what it really made me notice this whole past time with all this craziness in my head, it's like, I don't even have peace when I'm just chilling. So it's like,
I think you're about to get a lesson then.
Yeah, I want to get smacked around.
The man, the myth, the mystic.
Sadhguru, your peace is in your control.
All right.
You cannot be as peaceful as a cow. Try as hard as you want. Yes?
Oh my Sadhguru. Has he ever looked so fine? I mean, we're gonna break it down right now. We're gonna do it. Okay. We're gonna do it.
First of all, he's got the whited out kit on.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, the whited out, like white to the point where you're like, I can't
look at this man.
It's too holy.
Yeah, it's too holy. All I can do is energetically feel.
Then we've got this sash.
Yeah.
Over, which I thought was camo at first, and I was like, not a great look. But then noticed it wasn't camo. It's just these awesome colors.
Earth tones. Got water, dirt,
like
grass.
It looks like there should be the most beautiful nature scenery behind him. With that, then we got what is the stuff he wears around his neck and why? This is the only thing you need to comment.
Yeah.
What is it
right now
that Sadhguru always wears around his neck? Why does he do it? What is it doing? I know you know.
The most important piece of this outfit, however,
yeah,
is the wristwatch.
Oh, jeez. Well, he was gonna say the shades.
Yeah.
Because the shades are fly. He's also got his hair pulled back.
Gee dang.
Like,
he's also just chilling at like a temple.
Yeah.
With like some flowers drying behind him on corn.
Can we get this Sadhguru every time?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Can we get this framed?
I don't even care what he says.
Can someone frame this and send it to us? Alright, I've had enough. Let's go.
I've had some.
Can you? You cannot be. You may manage it. You eat. They're not serving today. But I think there's a restaurant open. You eat a lot of pongal, it does usually. You know why people in the south are so peaceful? You eat a lot of pongal. Very peaceful. It does. So, people have tried excessive eating, intoxicants, excessive indulgence in pleasures. With all these things, they have tried to create some kind of peacefulness within themselves. You thought you got there, but next moment you know you're not there. Any number of times it's deceived you, isn't it? Yes? One Saturday evening, your whole family met, all of you had a wonderful dinner. You thought this is the height of the world. Everything is so wonderful, magical. Tomorrow morning you see… Not because there is something wrong with your family. It is just that with limited entity, you're trying to create an unlimited space. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Nothing wrong. It's just that it doesn't work. There are lots of great things in the world which don't work. I'm not interested in them, that's all. You interested in great things? Are you interested in great things? Oh, thank you. I'm not interested in great things. I'm only interested in things that work. I don't want to… There are lots of great things. People claim they're great things, but they don't work, they have not worked for anybody. They're great things because somebody says so. They're great things because somebody thinks too much of himself and whatever he says or does must be great things. But they don't work. We are looking for something that works. If you are determining the course of your experience right now, 100%, you're beginning to, the bloody legs are aching like crazy, but still, it's beginning to work. If you are determining the nature of your experience right now, 100%, let's say, we'll assume that, if you are, then would somebody have to tell you, please?
Here's a thought. I promise it's a good one.
Nice.
How crazy is it that in reality, all we have to go off… we had a conversation with a subscriber this morning that kind of like tipped this off in me. All we have to go off with these teachers are the things they say. Because at least Eli and I have not met anyone like this in person. Not even close. And so we're going off just like the surface level through video. Have you ever thought about that? That we are just scraping…
Dang it, man.
the upper 0.1% of any teacher that we could possibly go through because we're watching it on a video. That's been tripping me out. Because not obviously, but I think it's pretty clear at this point that they've got some pretty incredible things to say. But what I've found in myself, and I said this earlier in our conversation, is that anytime I've been in a certain state of clarity and I'm speaking to other people, or they'll ask me questions because it's like clear I'm in a different sort of state than I usually am, my answers, I'll answer in a certain way. And on the inside, I recognize in those states that my answer is like so small compared to what I'm actually experiencing. There's like in those states, I come up with the best words, like better words than I could come up with now when I'm just like doing my normal Mitch thing.
Yeah.
And still, it's not even a fraction of what I'm experiencing. And so it's crazy of how awesome it is to listen to these teachers and how much we all benefit from it. And also how small it is compared to what the actual experience is. Which for me is like, nice. Like there's so much more to it. There's the chance of meeting these people. There's a chance of like actually interacting and feeling their energies. It's like, yes, that's it.
Don't get too excited now.
Can't tell me what to do.
Oh, that's a good point. Ready?
Yes.
Create a pleasant experience. Would somebody have to tell you? No. So somebody telling you be loving, be blissful is all bullshit. Yes or no? because nobody need to tell you, be pleasant. The problem is you're not able to determine the nature of your experience, isn't it? Yes? The problem is you're unable to determine the nature of your experience for whatever reasons. If you could determine the nature of your experience, nobody has to tell you, be blissful, be loving, be happy, be this. This is all coming from, patchy ideas about life.
Kind of gets back to the thing you were saying about how much of the ideas right now don't work. Like, the ways of life that we're living lead to us needing to tell each other to calm down, to be peaceful, to be happy. Even in like our own minds. And it's like, clearly something's just not working.
Yeah.
And I think or one of the big things seems to be the fact that before hearing someone say something like this, you don't even consider it a possibility that you could be completely in control. It's like, no, that's the way the world is. There's crappy stuff, there's happy stuff, and I'm gonna shoot for the happy stuff as much as possible.
Yeah, like think better thoughts was always my mind state.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, I have these negative thoughts, let me bring in some good thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's like, that just comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes. And I feel like that's like the most important first step in that process, is just being like, wow, things could be better. Like, this doesn't have to be how things are. This isn't just how it is. I feel like that's something that mentally traps so many people, is like they look at the world, they're like, this is just how it is. And it's because nothing, like before I knew of any of these other possibilities of spirituality, that was my mind state. It's like, this is how it is. Now let me make a step-by-step process to make it better in my own little way. Like, make the whole world better with me. And now it's like, I realize that the possibilities for my experience are so much greater than anything I could like put into the world or change about the world. Like, as an offshoot, maybe me changing my own internal experience could help something in the world, but that's not the reason.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the point, at least from my perspective.
It's a small one, though.
True.
Don't listen too close to
Don't
us, all right?
listen too close. That's a good point.
Or even this guy.
Anytime you remember, don't listen too close.
Yeah, not too close.
Yes.
You see somebody fighting, you say be loving. You see somebody unhappy, you say blissful. It's most insulting. When somebody is in a great state of unhappiness, going and telling be blissful is most insulting, isn't it? No? But these are all the great teachings on this planet, which have been on for centuries. These are all great things that have never worked. So, we are only seeing how to determine the nature of your experience. If you take charge of what causes experience within you, if you are in charge of that, I'm 100% sure you will make it very pleasant for yourself. And I'm also sure, if you are feeling very pleasant within yourself, you would be naturally pleasant to everybody around yourself.
Verbo.
Unfortunately, people have taken it upon themselves to confuse the humanity so badly about their own nature. See, It's very simple. It doesn't take any damn scripture or a guru to tell you this. It's very simple. Whatever the nature of your experience, it's happening within you. Is it so? You don't need some great yoga or a scripture or a guru or a stone that falls from heaven to tell you this. If the nature of your experience, whatever is the nature of your experience, whether it is fear, anger, love, hatred, ecstasy, agony, everything is happening from within you, it would be very natural for human beings to look and see how to make it into a most pleasant experience, isn't it? If you had not freaked them, God loves you from up there. If you had not exported love to heaven, lot of human beings would have been very loving human beings.
We just reacted last episode to Michael Allen Singer, and there's this thing by him where I don't know if we were listening to this together or I was just listening to it by myself, but he says that it would be his wish that no one has any concept of God.
Mm-hmm.
And that they move through life and at a certain point they realize what everyone was saying about God, but they didn't have a conception of it beforehand. Because everyone's looking for this thing called God that's out there. And what people call God...
Concept, bro.
What people have called God that realize it is just... It's like once you become it, it's like everything just feels like God, and then that becomes misconstrued by people who haven't experienced it. And so it like makes so much sense why people who have experienced it, who have realized themselves, why they have used that word God. Like it kind of makes sense to me, but then for someone who's not seen that, they're like, oh, this is a thing outside of me. This is a thing that I can't attain, so I need to like pray to it. I need to like conceptualize it, like give it a form, give myself practices for it. It's like, and none of that is getting you, and all that is leading you to the end of that conception, not to the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and reaction the other day, we were talking about like choices.
Yeah.
And I was doing this a bunch.
I like that.
And it was like all the splits.
Right.
And you have like option. And so much of where we've gotten as humanity just feels like we just asked a question, like, we have to do something. We have to do something. We have to do something. But it's like, naturally the things are going to happen. You know, it is that like effortlessness that's going to drop all that tension, drop all the bullshit. Like,
I think it's Rumi that says that nature does not rush, yet everything is accomplished. Yeah.
That's one
to ruminate on.
Nice.
Not nice. I'm gonna unpause
it.
Make sure to unsubscribe right now.
But now we have exported it out there, you have to import it. For importing it, you need permit.
I think we've told people to unsubscribe more than we've told them to subscribe. Like whenever we have a cringy moment.
And our like ratio is doing well for that.
Yeah.
We keep gaining subscribers.
Right, somehow.
Maybe
you're just not listening to us.
Permanently opposite.
You need to listen a little bit closer sometimes.
Oh, no, we were talking about this episode. When someone else tells you something, you want to do the opposite.
Unsubscribe.
And there are agents here who don't give those permits so easily. It's not coming across because all the love has gone to heaven. How to get it now? Here there's a priest standing here with a permit. He won't give it to you. Whether you want to experience blissfulness, whether you want to experience love, whether you want to experience ecstasy, whatever states of pleasantness human beings have known have come from within them. Is that so? So, there is no need to apply for any permit from anywhere. You just have to become willing to explore what this is, to bring this to the most pleasant state. Not because it's a virtue. Love is not a virtue. Bliss is not a virtue. To be pleasant is not a virtue. It's just that is the way you long to be, isn't it? It is not that if you're loving, you'll go to heaven. It is not that if you're ecstatic, you'll go to heaven. It is just that if you're loving and ecstatic, you don't need a damn heaven.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. That's a universal bar, undoubtedly. There's no doubt about that one. Just he's just like mid-talk and he just, here's a universal bar, let me just say it. How? Like, how?
It makes me think about how I haven't read the Bible closely. I wish I had, or maybe I will, maybe I won't. Doesn't matter.
Very good.
Just the fact that they have something that is like the Garden of Eden. Like the place people started was a garden with like good tasting food, good water, good air.
Yeah.
And that's just literally what's here.
What I've thought about is how much people like Sadhguru will talk about how much your likes and your dislikes chain you and your beliefs, like, basically just like enslave you, and you're bound by those, by thinking some things are sacred, some things are not sacred. And what the story goes in Genesis is that Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Yeah. So if you look at it from that perspective, yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. It's like,
what if you just rewrote the story? One of them like takes a bite out of it, is like has like a Buddha nature or a yogi nature, and like tastes like the good and evil coming out, and then just like spits it out, and it's like, I'm not doing that. And then the whole world lived happily ever after. It's like, nah, it doesn't taste good. Oh, I guess that's already a judgment. Dang it.
Oh. Maybe that's how it happened.
Whoa. How many layers of reality?
Yeah. I think a big thing that I've been trying to get to is just like the root of all of these things. So like the root of Christianity. It's like you hear something like that, you match it with things said in modern spiritual, not modern, but just like in general, like yogic tradition, and like what I've found to be true in myself. And it's like, I don't really know if I'm construing that in a different way than what was originally meant, but I know that the Bible's been misconstrued in really crazy ways, so I no need to listen to that. Like,
the construed.
All that needs to happen is just like try and get to the root of that. And it's like, I feel like more and more I'm kind of just feeling that it's like the roots of that are so similar. To say the roots of yoga.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The good and evil apple.
And I'm sure that would be all over the Bible. And like, I've also heard that, that like Jesus is regarded by many as just a great yogi. Who's like, I had never even conceived of that before. Like, I just always thought of Jesus. I had all these chains on Jesus in my mind, and just like breaking all of those and being like, oh, he was just yoked with the universe.
Yoked with the universe.
And just how beautiful that is. And then he just like brought his disciples, just like every other teacher does, brought them along, taught them this, had them spread it, and it all got misconstrued. Maybe because it was poetic, maybe, who knows, like, maybe because there were miracles involved, I don't know. But it was misconstrued.
Made some good money, though.
Oh,
Made
man.
some good product.
Well, we're just gonna keep going.
People who've made a hell out of themselves want to go to heaven. People who've made a heaven out of themselves, where do they want to go?
How much have you lost overall?
Oh my gosh. All right, this is the best part. I lost.
Wherever the hell they go, they don't care. So, it's very, very important. If you want to ensure… Is the volume correct? If you want to ensure that the sounds that this one produces is good, the more you know about this whole mechanism, the better sound you produce, isn't it so? Sometimes by chance it may happen, that's different. But the more you know about it, the better. If you are a sound engineer, you produce good sound. So if you are an inner engineer, then you make this the way you want. That's all it takes. It doesn't need anything. It is just that because it's in a different direction than the way you're constantly looking through your sense perception, you need help, maybe. Not necessarily, but generally, yes.
Here's a question for the people. The people.
Hello, people.
When someone says, look inward, where do you go? Can you describe?
It's a tough one for me, yeah.
That's a tough one, but it's been fascinating for me, because turning inward has often meant like the mind space, you know? But noticing more and more how much of that is just like this crazy chatter.
Yeah.
It's like, so is that the place to go? What else is there in there? Because you can also like feel into your body. Maybe that's what turning inward means to you. Maybe it means turning to the thing behind the thoughts. I'm curious. Let us know. Okay.
You need a certain amount of help, but that's all. Grace is just that help, that it creates a conducive atmosphere to slip in. If any machinery has to perform well, people have started using these words everywhere these days.
On the topic of grace, that's been at the tip of my tongue lately, in terms of like my awareness. In terms of grace, another question. Do you have any ways of being or things that you do to receive grace? Because it seems as though, at least from my perception, that it's a lot harder to receive the grace from another being or from the world if you're not in the presence of someone like Sadhguru. Though they say like the Dhyanalinga is accessible to everyone. Like the grace of the Dhyanalinga, the grace of the Guru is accessible to everyone. It's not bound by the physical. So you don't need to be there. Or like Ramana Maharshi didn't transmit his powers to a disciple because he said that there was no need for it because the self is all present and it can be accessed by anyone anywhere. And that conceptually jives with me. I'm like, yeah, cool. But then when I'm
empowered,
when I'm moving through life, I'm like, I don't really know how to receive this.
Where are you, God?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting to me, is just like being receptive enough to receive it, and how's that possible? And like, is there no benefit to like going there physically? Because it seems like there is, but they're saying that this is not bound by the physical. So that's
I've
Or
had
that gets me.
a few interesting dreams that went along this line
Okay.
of like,
You got the answer for me?
no, it's just some stuff.
No, I know.
Maybe it's just some crappy stuff.
Let's hear it, sir.
But it's like like a being will be there that I somehow know has like the ability to like open me or something. But then the whole time when I'm like listening to them, I have this like distraction going on in my head. Maybe I feel like guilty about something. Maybe I feel like I'm not ready. Maybe XYZ. And where it's gotten me is this place of like, at the moment, or like there are certain things within me that I would need to let melt. And I feel like those things melting, like those things are present when like dreamer, waker, those are present right now. It feels like if those things melted with or without a guru there, that same like power or like grace would be there.
Yeah.
But it's just an interesting thing, like feeling the blockage very distinctly. Just a thought.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
You need lubricants, some lubricant. Try to, whatever the great car you have, try to run it without oil. Not 10 minutes, it'll be ruined, isn't it? It's the lubricant which is keeping it going. All this great machinery, without that little bit of that thin film of lubricant, it's all destroyed in no time. Grace is just that little lubricant so that things happen smoothly. Now they've started calling it liquid engineering. Everybody started doing it. It's appropriate. Takes liquid engineering. So, this takes little engineering. Grace is just a lubricant. Without the lubricant, if you try to work, the friction, just the friction of life has destroyed too many human beings, isn't it? Yes? Nothing big they did. All they did was simple things. They were born which was not their doing, they didn't do such a big thing. That just happened. They just want to eat well, sleep well, fulfill their basic needs. This is all they want to do. In the process of doing this, how many human beings are broken and bitter and destroyed? Because no lubricant.
Damn.
Nothing wrong with them. They're trying to work their engines without a lubricant. That's all it is. Just see. Even your cell phone is working because through thin air, they're conducting the sound for you, isn't it? We can just disturb that. You know those advertisements, hello, 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 hello. You're seeing those things. Phones become like that because there is a little bit of disturbance. That's what is happening with this also. This is a far more sophisticated instrument than anything that you have seen. This needs a little bit of attention. If you pay attention, it pays off.
Yeah.
Got some lube?
The subscriber we're listening to, talking to today, his name is Naveen,
Shouts Naveen.
was talking about how Sadhguru is doing everything, guiding you through every level of the process. Like, there's videos like this, where it's like in Naveen's words, he said, you don't even have to be spiritual to get it. Like, you hear this, and like, probably a lot of this will land with you. But then he takes you. He has the ability and does take people to the depths. It's like Naveen said it like, in regular school you have kindergarten teacher, preschool teacher, all the way up to PhD, and it's all different teachers that you'll get. And he's like, this is just one guy, and he's doing it from the top to the bottom. Just one guy. He's like, I will take your hand, I will bring you to the top, and we are going to start at the bottom when you don't get anything, and I'm going to give you this conceptual framework to build this structure around, and then we're going to build the structure, and then we're going to start moving upward. It's like, wow. It feels like a scientific, and it's no wonder there's so many people being moved through. It's not just like one person here, one person here. It's like there's thousands of people in on this, and they're all being like funneled through this process. Millions, yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, just thinking about Sadhguru and then thinking about like a character like Jesus or Gautama Buddha, like what would those guys be like if they had a YouTube channel? If they were alive today and had a YouTube channel. Because I'm guessing it would be a similar thing,
Yeah.
Have 11 million volunteers. Meet with all these like biggest people on earth, or like people with the most influence on earth, talk to them. It's crazy.
Servants of the world.
Yeah.
Yep. Man. Well, we know you like Sadhguru, so here you are.
Here you go. We like him too.
Yes, we do. It's just a little bit. Just that much. Much love. All the love in the world to you. Yeah, much love.